Right.
44th president. You know, the name and the face. It, as he said, it doesn't look or sound like what you have seen on the dollar or $5 bills. As a child of the civil rights movement, as somebody whose life, you know, so much of it has been defined by racial problems in this country, I never thought I would see this in my lifetime, and I know a lot of people have problems with who Barack Obama is, what he stands for, but it is a night for celebration.
Yeah, it is. Every American ought to celebrate tonight. I mean, you know, it's funny. He was elected because there are a lot of people who do not remember the civil rights movement. He was elected President of the United States because our country has come so far in such a short period of time. And it is a hopeful and optimistic thing for our country and for the world. It's a great symbol of what America is all about. I know that there's going to be a lot of anger about this in some quarters and among people who didn't support him, but this is a moment where American people ought to say we hope and pray for the success of our new president when he takes office, and we want to work with him when we agree with him, persuade him when we think his mind is open, and occasionally oppose him when we think he's wrong, but hope and work for the success of the country and the success of the new president.
You know, some analysts in talking about his appeal as a candidate, and for instance in contrasting it with Jesse Jackson, talked about him as a post-racial figure. He did not come out of the grievances of the civil rights movement. Is it possible, and when you talk about it, you know, in historical terms, it hasn't been that long since we were in the heart of the civil rights movement, to have a post-racial African-American figure?
I know he's been so proclaimed, and I think he would like that mantle, but I go back to that March 18th speech about Reverend Wright, in which I don't think he escaped the bonds of race in that speech. In fact, he talked about a legitimate black anger, and he tried to couple it with what he called a legitimate white anger and join them together in going after the real enemy, which was corporate America. And I thought that showed maybe a little bit too much of a connection to the past, but he has the capacity to be so, and if he rises to that moment, he could be such a president.
You know, in the exit polls, we found that the percentage of people, the number of people that voted for him because he was black, it seemed to outweigh the number of people who voted against him because he was black. Is there, I mean, what would you say as a realistic political analyst about the degree of color blindness in this country?
I think particularly among younger people, they are colorblind. You know, older people, people who grew up and remember the 60s and remember the 50s and the 40s and the 70s, they to varying degrees remain observant of the color of the color break in America. But you go on a college campus, or you go be around younger people, and they are post-racial. You know, it just the idea of race very rarely enters into their thinking, and yet the idea of an African American, inspirational, aspirational, you know, somebody who spoke to their better angels, was really powerful and drew a lot of them into American
and we talk about where we are now. Now, for the next at least 4 years, we're going to have an African-American president, an African-American first family.
Right.
What's that going to do to people's conceptions about race?
Well, look, we've had an African-American first family for many years in different forms. And, you know, when the Cosby Show was on, that was America's family. It wasn't a black family. It was America's family. And that's one of the great things about our country, for those of us who remember the 60s, is how widely received we now have the spectacle of, you know, you turn on the television and in an advertisement, we don't think, well, that's a black person in that advertisement, because it's so accepted. When we turn on an entertainment show, when we turn on a sports show, when we look at our own friends, I mean, the American workplace. You know, we all work with people that 40 years from now would have been unusual in some parts of the country to be found on the other side of the table from us. But it is a hopeful and optimistic thing about her. I do want to say this, though. He is young, he is aspirational, and Americans have invested a lot in him, but they still have doubts. Even yesterday, the USA Today Gallup poll had 48% of the American people saying he was not qualified to be president. This is why he's got a big hurdle to climb over. People have said, you know, he's fresh, he's new, he's smart. We believe that he's got the capacity to do it, but maybe not just yet. And he cannot go into office unaware of the fact that he's got to prove himself to a lot of people as being qualified and able to take the awesome responsibility of that funny-shaped office on the southeast corner of the White House.
Karl Rove, thank you for your thoughts on, and it's a phrase that's overused on this very historic night. Brett?
All right, Chris.